And then he began to mention certain things that happened and certain fathers that had visited his home while he was very young and didn't understand. And one of the greatest, strongest fathers that has ever has ever done ministry in this land and is a product of this land actually slept in their house. And then that bed, he slept in that bed. And then his father was also a minister. And his father gave him two declarations, told him, everywhere the soles of your feet shall tread on, the Lord shall give to you, and as far as your eyes can see. And from that particular experience and all that, every time he does his events, they're humongous and all that. And that's at that particular time is when I just began to study about mantles. And the concept then of mantles really became very strong from having his story. It's then that I realized that a major part of the breakthrough of his ministry was not necessarily his gift, but the deposit that came from his father, who was biological father, but also a spiritual father, and also the grace that came from one of the fathers of this land that visited his house. That's when I began to realize that there are certain graces and certain anointings and certain dimensions that are actually in the land, that if somebody would become spiritual enough and become wise enough, you will go and tap into them and not have to struggle to dig the trench, but rather tap into what they carry and begin to move in that dimension. So that's what made me write the book, because I realized a number of ministers are coming up and they're having to struggle to dig and dig and dig, yet there's somebody who has gone before them that has dug the ground. So let me put it this way, Tutula, if you allow me. Joel Osteen was a pastor of Lakewood Church. He labored, and by the time he handed over the church to John Osteen, the church was about 6,000 people. John Osteen has labored to a place where it is 48,000 people. Now, John, and then they bought a building that seats 16,000 people. They do a service on Saturday and do 2 services on Sunday. And so he was driving with his son, Joel Osteen rather. He was driving with his son, Jonathan, and he told his son, Jonathan, that you are going to take over the place. And his son, Jonathan, said, no, I can't take over this place because this is too small for me. Now, where did Jonathan learn how to talk such big language, yet he's a young child? It's because he has grown from a DNA where he has seen big things are being done. So he will not need to struggle to replicate bigness, because there is a mantle of bigness in his DNA that is working through that. And that's what now the concept of the book came through, is that if you and I, Tutula, would position ourselves to identify greatness that is in the land and position ourselves there, we will not need to struggle to become that which God has called us, because there is already a template that has been laid for us.
Wow.
In a nutshell.
There is a template that has been laid for you, but it just needs that calling out that Pastor Ben is talking about. Someone that is going to deposit it into you, almost revive it and remind you that this is